The book that I wrote out of print, I started partly because I attended so many discussions when I took over a journalism school in London. I attended so many discussions in which people were being gloomy and pessimistic about the state of journalism. Now, there are reasons to be gloomy and pessimistic about journalism because journalists lose their jobs and one or two publications have closed. But there are two big objections to the gloom and the pessimism dominating us entirely, and they should not dominate our outlook. The first reason is that people are forgetting history. The late 20th century, when there was quite a lot of money coming into journalistic institutions, both newspapers and television particularly, that phase in the late 20th century was historically very unusual. All the other history of journalism, all the rest of the history of journalism has featured a great many things rising and then falling, a lot of improvisation, a lot of experiment, a lot of instability, and a lot of volatility. And it has required journalists to be resilient and adaptable and to experiment a lot. So one of the things that pessimists are doing is forgetting what the history of journalism was like. The other thing that the pessimists were ignoring is simply how much grassroots reinvention activity is going on in journalism. Now, usually this is going on in organizations that have not yet reached the size or the fame of big established journalism producers from the BBC or the New York Times or Le Monde or whatever. But these smaller places are thinking, how is it that we get significant information over to people as quickly and as accurately and reliably as we can? And we're now beginning to see news websites that have been going for 10 or 15 years' time. Some of them are surviving financially. Some of them are doing imaginative and inventive things that can't be done in print. And they're really producing journalism that is native to the digital conditions in which everybody's going to have to work. I should say that I don't think that print is going to disappear. Magazines and weekend newspapers are not nearly as hit as daily newspapers that appear in the working days of the week, and television is surviving reasonably well, although looking at some risks of decline. So I think terrestrial television and print will still be there in the mix, but digital will probably be the main way that journalism will be transmitted. And our task as journalists is to make sure that the values and ideals of journalism, as they always have been, work well in new conditions. We can't put the clock back, we can't reinvent the past. What we have to do is adapt to new circumstances. And personally, I'm quite confident that journalism will do so.